Let you all open all your three eyes.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
In this sacred manual of power manifestation, which serves as a scriptural authority containing the Shastra Pramanas, eternal unchangeable truths, Apta Pramanas, Atma Pramanas, Sakshi Pramanas, and Prataksha Pramanas, we present to you the various powers of Paramashiva. By this, we place before humanity the supreme authenticity of the power manifestation science established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness Nithyananda Paramashivam. Paramashiva has systematically revealed these powers in their purest forms as various techniques and revelations to experience pure oneness with Paramashiva. As a direct experience of oneness with Paramashiva, his Shaktis powerfully manifest in an initiated being at different levels of human consciousness, physicality, physiology, psychology, and neurology permanently. We offer these power manifestation manuals to celebrate your experience of oneness with the Supreme Paramashiva. Nithyanandam.
Akashic Readings. Does life exist on other planets? What is the truth of the Bermuda Triangle mystery? Can I find out about my past lives? The hallways of Kala Chakra hide many answers. Get answers to all these questions and more directly from the source, the Cosmic Archives. Cosmic Archives are the mystical records of all the events, words, thoughts, and actions that have ever happened in the cosmos. The time shaft can be rewound and fast-forwarded for answers that only a living incarnation can access. Now, for the first time, a living avatar who is the embodiment of the cosmos itself opens himself in a language that we can understand. Akashic Readings. Google the Cosmic Archives.
Nithyanandam, Jnana Paddhati Manual, under the guidance of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadusham Tattvamasya Lakshya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is power manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself explaining what is power manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you, due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you, out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turiyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, playing with life, playing with being alive. Static matter, dynamic activity, strategic existence, all these three has no boundary. You are one with it. You are alive in everything. Everything listens to you. Everything decides as you want. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, raising your frequency, not work.
Now let's understand who is Paramashiva. Bhagwan himself has beautifully explained the Paramashiva in all of us.
Paramashiva does manifestation, maintenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and liberation. He resides in his supreme Paramashiva Swarupa as Ajomuha or Adhomuha, unborn. Beyond form, formlessness is Paramashiva Swarupa. That Paramashiva Swarupa manifests with these 5 faces as Sadashiva, Tatpurusha, Vamadeva, Ahora, Satyojata, Ishana. 5 faces he manifests and does the Panchakritya, Srishti, manifestation, Sthiti, sustenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Trobhava, pulling out of delusion, Anugraha, liberation. Understand? He does all these 5 jobs. Through these 5 phases. Now listen carefully. Tatpurusham, Vamadevam, Satyojatam, Ahoram, Ishanam. These 5 phases does Panchakrityas. Each phase, each dimension is not just one F-A-C-E phase, P-H-A-S-E phase. It's not just F-A-C-E, P-H-A-S-E. Understand? The creation, not just creation getting created, even sustenance need to be created, destruction need to be created, and pulling out of delusion need to be created, liberation need to be created. Then creation, manifestation need to be maintained. Maintenance, sthiti itself need to be maintained. Destruction, samhara, the rejuvenation need to be sustained, maintained when it is happening. Pulling out of delusion, throbhava, need to be maintained when it is happening. And anugraha, liberation, need to be maintained when it is happening. Those micromilliseconds when it is happening. So understand, Satyojata Murti as 5 face. Ishana Murti as 5 face. Vamadeva Murti as 5 face. Agora Murti has 5 face. Tatpurusha Murti has 5 face. So, Tatpurusha Murti as is 5 face. Agora Murti has is 5 face. Vamadeva Murti has is 5 face. Satyojata Murti has his 5 face. Ishana Murti has his 5 face. All these 5 Murtis, 5 faces put together is 25 faces of Mahasadashiva.
Bhagavan beautifully explained Paramashiva. Now, who is His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is a reviver of Kailasha, the ancient enlightenment civilization, the great cosmic borderless nation. Is an avatar from and is a Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, has made science of our manifestation, yoga, temple-based university for humanity, Sovereign Order of Kailasha, led by His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, and Nithyananda Order of Monks, Nuns, Hindu diasporas, are working for global peace to give superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Nithyananda Hindu University, world's largest with extended campus in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time-capsuling, decoding, spreading and reviving 20 million source books of Hinduism and 64 sacred arts, science like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, Vastu, and many more. His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Shamalapita Sarvanyapita, ancient apex body of Hinduism and present emperor of Suryavamsa Surangi Swamrajyam. His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, has survived the worst persecution of multiple assassination attempts on person and character by anti-Hindu elements. Beautifully, Bhagavan now explains who is His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Everything is infinitely powerful. You realize your potentiality. You establish yourself in the completion, space of completion. You are God, that's all. All of us are gods. The first experience is that I was able to see everything around me, above me, the whole 360 degree. I realized not only I was able to see, I was able to feel, experience the skin of the stone on rock on which I was sitting and the skin of this body. Both carry me equally. In both I exist equally. Sangha is a place where the tattvas are taught to you, and till it becomes satya, you are supported. Akhadas are basically founded by Sadashiva himself. all is ganas, Shiva ganas. Exactly the word gana means, in your length, breadth, depth, if you are filled by Shiva, you are Shiva gana. All the Shiva ganas formed the first Akada. Later on, much later, Kapila Muni organizes Mahanirvani Akada, then all other Akadas. As Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akada, the oldest apex body of Hinduism, I welcome every one of you. What I am teaching is from original Agamas Yogapada. The science very clearly declares, Sadashiva is very clear, manifestation of these powers happen when you experience oneness with Sadashiva. When you choose your Guru, the best thing is find a person who is enlightened, experienced, who can play with energy, who can directly transmit experience to you, and who is in tune with the original Shastras, the source of the knowledge. All the revealed scriptures available about the yoga directly by Sadashiva for you to do research, study, practice, question the people who teach.
The science of power manifestation is a gift to the humanity, which is authentic, time-tested, scientific, and foolproof. Diksha, or the initiation from His Divine Holiness, Nithyananda Paramashivam, makes the science directly an experience for the initiates. The experience is directly authenticated by the Pramanas. The Shastra Pramanas, the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Veda and Agamas. The Apta Pramanas, the experience of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanamars, Alvars, and Siddhars, who are the authority of Hinduism, who have scientists who time-tested and verified the science of power manifestation. The Atma Pramanas are the avatar who land on the planet Earth to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar, personal experience of power manifestation. Shakshi Pramanas, or the experience of the millions of disciples, devotees, and followers initiated into the science of power manifestation by Bhagavan himself. Pratyaksha Pramanas, or the scientific studies which can be measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state.
Powerful cognition from Living Advaita Bhagavan Satsang.
The inclusiveness takes away conclusiveness. But here, inclusiveness and conclusiveness in completion. Inclusiveness and conclusiveness in the space of complete completion. The Vedic tradition, first and foremost, one and only, inclusive and conclusive tradition. Understand, inclusiveness is always the extreme of emotion. Conclusiveness is always the extreme of logic. Both never go hand in hand. Only if the logic and emotion both merges and sees the reality. Logic always operates from the fear, so it goes on dissecting. Emotion always operates in the space of greed, and it tries to goes on adding. Emotion tries to be inclusive so that it can feel fulfilled with the greed. And logic tries to be divisive so that it can be conclusive. When both ripes and merges, the being blossoms, which is beyond logic and emotion, which I call your individual soul, biomemory, your basic root cognition from which you operate. Only there the inclusiveness and conclusiveness can be in the space of completion, and it can go completely well with each other. Listen. The people who lost conclusiveness for the sake of inclusiveness lost the strength. They become theology light. All these theology light traditions, okay, be as you want, okay, let's celebrate. All the theology light groups, most of the cults function on inclusive, but they very badly lose the strength of conclusiveness. And the people who miss inclusiveness and hold on to some conclusiveness, they become fanatics, terrorists. They are more dangerous than cults. The one and only tradition, the Vedic tradition, which is ultimately inclusive and ultimately conclusive. Completely inclusive and completely conclusive, because it is core. The core cannot choose between inclusiveness and conclusiveness. Just see this word. Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam. The ultimate inclusiveness and ultimate conclusiveness. In this one line, whatsoever exists is enveloped by this consciousness. Ultimate inclusiveness. You can't include anything further in this. And idam vasyam yat kincha, whatsoever. Jagat means changeful. Please listen. How much ever you may think it is changing, as long as your thinking is happening, you will perceive universe as happening. When you settle down in samadhi, you will perceive the whole universe in the space of samadhi. Understand, as long as you are thinking, you will perceive the other part of you as universe which is happening. When the thinking settles down in you and you become peaceful and you enter into samadhi, you will perceive the other part of you also is in the space of samadhi, God. The jiva decides to perceive his other part as Jagat or Ishvara. When you perceive as Jagat, Dvandva exists, dual. When you perceive as Ishvara, only Advaita exists. That is why Ishvara becomes Isha. Even if you translate the word Isha into Lord, there is a kind of a gap. Upanishadic rishis are not telling Ishvara Vasyamitam. No. Because that word Ishvara can create a kind of a subtle barrier. They say Isha, where you don't feel intimidated. Understand, a mind which is still active. For that mind, if you describe God as a embodiment of independent, intelligent, free-willed being, you will feel always intimidated. You will feel, wow, if something else also exists, then should I relate with that through fear, by begging, praying, or greed, by offering, surrendering, or should I start praying? What kind of a relationship I should start developing with it? Because the mind always tries to retain its existence by the methodology of relating. When the method to relate is disconnected, it disappears. It is by the methodology of the relating it retains its existence. So when mind is there, if the masters utter a word, Ishvara, immediately, oh, he is there. He is intelligent and he is independent. He has a free will. So, he may judge me. He may not accept me. So how should I relate with him? Should I start praying to him? How should I please him? Should I start talking to him? Should I start escaping from him, denying him? Or what should be the thing? Or should I start conquering him? Understand, he is not Ishvara as you perceive, who moves like you. He is Isha, who can be perceived only when there is no movement in you. Any perception you have about him, when there is a movement, is only Jagat, not Ishvara. Only these three you need to know in the life. Everything else will be cleared just if you know about these three. Jiva, individual soul, which perceives. Jagat, universe, which is constantly changing, which changes is Jagat. And Ishvara, God. Listen. Please listen. As long as there is a movement in you in the form of thought and feeling, which tries to include and conclude, thought tries to conclude, feeling tries to include. As long as these movements are happening in you, what you perceive inside you and outside you is Jagat, changing. When this thought and emotion, which tries to include and conclude, merges, and that Shanti, silence prevails, you will understand whatever you perceived as Jagat also is nothing but Isha. I can say the whole Sanatana Hindu Dharma starts and ends in this first line.
Let's go to the Shastra Pramana, eternal unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures.
The Shastra Pramana for the power of remote viewing or Akashic reading is taken from the Jnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 84, Dharana 61. Akasham vimalam pashyan kritva drishtim nirantaram stabdhatma takshanad devi bhairavam vapurapnuyat. Akasham vimalam pashyam kritva drishtim nirantaram stabdhatma takshanad devi bhairavam vapurapnuyat.
Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 84, Dharana 61. Bhagavan Parameshwara says, looking at the spotless infinite etheric space, Akasha, beyond the sky and clouds, one should fix one's gaze without blinking continuously and make the body, the inner space, steady and motionless. In the very moment, O Devi, one attains the nature and powers of infinite space, Bhairava. Bhagavan exactly spoke on this. He said how it's inclusive and conclusive, how the thoughts and emotion, when we have the thoughts and emotion, we are in the space of Jagat. When both merges, we are in the space of Ishvara. When the Paramashanta Swarupa in us starts happening, and we understand the Jagat is nothing but the Ishvara in us, reflecting as Jagat, which is constantly changing. The outside world is nothing but a reflection from the inside. If the inside is in the space of Paramashiva, the origin, we understand higher reality. When we are stuck in the incompletion, we only see matter as Jagat, which is constantly regenerating itself. Bhagavan's powerful cognition will start going to the Apta Pramana. Apta Pramana are the authorities of Hinduism Vedic rishis and scientists who time tested the science of our manifestation. Here, the power of Akashic reading on birth, death, Bhagwan beautifully has spoken on different topics. Here we have the Apta Pramana reference, Mahabharata, Adi Parva, Shambhava Parva section, page number 143, paragraph 144, first paragraph. Chandra's son, Varsha, reincarnating as Abhimanyu, whose lifespan was 16 years. It was Chandra's son, Varchas, who was reincarnated as Abhimanyu. The Devas discussed with Chandra the need to incarnate themselves in the world to combat the evil forces. Chandra told them that he was reluctant to send his beloved son, but didn't want to shrink his duty either. So he suggested that Varsha be born as Arjuna's son, but he couldn't be separate from Chandra for more than 16 years. The Devas agreed that at 16 years, Varsha's incarnation would die in an enemy's and return to Chandra. All these great truths, how the Devas and Devas lived and rebirth and incarnation happened in their life. So beautiful. With that, let's move to Atma Pramana. Atma Pramana are Leelas of Bhagwan. Bhagwan is answering from Akashic reading on birth and death.
The next question is from Roshan from San Jose. Dear Kala Bhairava, at the time before the part begins to think, it is separate from source. It is same as the source. Then isn't it basically the source separating itself from itself, since the part only comes into existence after separation?
The moment the thought raises, part is a part. As a truth, it never separates, and in the normal comparative existence, the part appears first as part only, decides to have the thought of separation, whole does not decide. What decides becomes part. That is why the word part, decides to feel as part, is the right expression in the language in which you understand. When Kalabhairava, Mahadeva, reads out the truths, he reads out in the language you understand. There are many existential reality-based truths can never be read out in the language you understand. So, when he reads out in the language you understand, that is the best form of expressing possible.
The next question is from Sri Nithya Atma Manishananda. Dear Kala Bhairava, only source exists. There is nothing other than source exists. Then what makes the source to become individual consciousness, and why? That is what is the birth. I only existed after that event. Prior to this, I was not there. I know it is impossible for anything else, including I, to be other than the source. Then why I, the individual consciousness, is persisting? One source has become individual consciousness. What makes greed, fear, lust, desires to pop up in the individual consciousness? O beloved Mahadeva, please clear these doubts.
Atma Manisha, already your doubts are cleared. All the answers I gave has clarified your doubt. Mahadeva has already read out the sacred secrets about this question and doubt. Whatever Mahadeva read out, listen to that intensely. These doubts and questions will disappear. Mahadeva has answered this question.
The next question is from Dr. Shanti from Bangalore. Nithyanandam, beloved Swamiji, Shashtanga Namaskars at your divine lotus feet. Can you please let us all know why majority women go through so much pain, anxiety and stress during birthing process through these most beautiful, cherishing and fulfilling moments in their life? In few fortunate women who practiced meditation, yoga, power of visualization, listening to music and divine chanting, birthing has been a great, joyful experience with minimal pain and stress. Can you please clarify?
Human beings have the tendency to go through the pain and suffering even during the expansion. That is why even when the wealth comes to human beings which they were seeking with their whole life, the responsibility brings suffering and pain to them to maintain the wealth. Same way, when expansion of life happens in the form of birthing, giving birth to a child, the responsibility body is not able to take. That is why it goes through pain, suffering and torture. Otherwise, the birthing experience is a spiritual experience. The great possibility of expansion happens to an individual when it expands into another own life. The moment of birthing can be used for the enlightenment of both individuals who is giving birth and who is getting birth. So, every moment the child takes birth, the child has a possibility for enlightenment, mother has a possibility for enlightenment. If both of them take the responsibility, both can get enlightened. Even if the child is not capable of taking the responsibility, mother can take the responsibility and she can get enlightened. Birthing is great possibility of enlightenment, as it is extension and expansion process of individual body and consciousness.
Experiences of repeat numbers, and what was revealed to me about the repeat numbers in my recent Akashic readings. So before I get into exactly what was revealed to me during the Akashic readings, what I found really interesting is that Einstein's theory of special relativity has already proven that space and time are interactively linked, right? So basically what that is that the time exists as a dimension along with every aspect of space. In other words, that means the present future exists simultaneously with the past. So now what's beautiful about the Akashic readings is that it is the energy records of all the events that have ever happened, are happening, and will happen in the cosmos. They have been stored in the cosmic womb, or the Hiranya Garbha, in a coded form, and the key to decode them is in the hands of very few enlightened beings. Now, it just so happened that I happened to be in a place during this space and time where the Akashic readings are made available openly to humanity from Kala Bhairava. So Kala Bhairava is the energy or the very fabric of the cosmic space-time dimension, which is channeled through the Bala sons of the Nithyananda order. So the Bala sons of the Nithyananda orders are the initiated saint kids by the Guru Paramahamsa Nithyananda, a rare living enlightened avatar. And the Balans are able to access his records and answer any questions we may want answered. So I've had so many beautiful, extraordinary experiences already during Akashic readings with my past life readings. And also, funny thing is, so many of my questions that I've asked during Akashic readings were revealed to me later on in my dreams. So I was told the answers would be provided to me 7 days after in my dream.
So I've just had beautiful, beautiful experiences one after another. Now, there came a question in my mind, which has been there for a very long time, amongst so many other people around the world. And that is, why do I keep seeing continuously the repeat numbers, which I have been seeing for years on end now? A sequence of numbers, 1111, 1212, my birth date number, 444, 777, and so forth. So I asked Kala Bhairava, why is it that myself and along with so many people around the world are witnessing this phenomena? Why are we all seeing the same numbers over and over again? So here it goes. He said, the reason why is because during that time, I asked what was happening actually. He says what was happening is when a person is seeing those repeat numbers at that time, the Vastu is being aligned. So I said, what does that mean exactly? Kala Bhairava said the planets during that time is getting aligned when you're seeing the sequence of numbers. So I said, well, what does that do? What is that for? And he said, it is for all the good. And so then once again, I went back to Kala Bhairava, and now I was really curious to know, wow, what is exactly happening? Because I know in my personal experiences, every time I've seen those numbers, there has been a link of synchronicity, meaning one thing after another thing and after another, and even an awakening of intuition. So I was really curious to have a little bit more better understanding of what it is from a different perspective, and even a different knowing what Kala Bhairava has to say directly from the cosmic archives. So I went back and I asked, I said, well, what is it exactly that's happening when a person is seeing this number? What does it mean for that person who is actually seeing the number? He says what that means is that the person who's seeing the number, it means that all the obstacle in that person's life will be removed. So that was like, whoa, like, wow, what a beautiful happening. Because I know that in my personal experiences, ever since I've started seeing these numbers, so many spiritual things has been aligning in a sense that so many of my problems, which I've been cognizing that is happening in my life outside, maybe some sort of a hardship which I was going through, or maybe some form of a confusion or not knowing what is my next step in life. It is almost like there is something beyond my logic which is there, and it is guiding me through step by step, and things are just manifesting in such a beautiful synchronicity way. So that is my experience of what it has been since I've been seeing the numbers. And I know that there's so many people, so many of you out there have had similar experiences with seeing the numbers. So please be sure to share with me your own intake and experiences on the repeat numbers. I would love to hear what you have to say and what are your experiences.
Prataksha Pramana, scientific studies what can be measured, measuring the effect of being in enlightenment state. The science behind Akashic reading. As time exists simultaneously as a dimension of space, all energy or information, energy is nothing but subjective information, is waiting to be decoded depending on the parameters and objects used. To explain this with a simple analogy, electricity is coded energy and is decoded in an object called a light bulb, and thus manifests as the light. At a classical level, all information is stored in bits in computer language as a binary of 0 and 1, which is then decoded by the software of the computer. As mentioned earlier, at the quantum level, information is stored as qubits. These qubits of information are present across the entire fabric of the cosmos and represent the entire information held within the cosmos in time and space. Interestingly, at the quantum level, the binary system exists as 0 and 1 separately, but happens simultaneously and concurrently, such that both 0 and 1 exist at the same time. Information regarding past, present, or future of a quantum nature is available, waiting to be decoded, but at the present moment, there exists no technology in science which can work as a true quantum computer and has the software to understand all the information and underlying principles of the cosmos. Biologically, the human brain has been linked to the equivalent of quantum computer. An avatar in the form of being, like Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, is able to access the qubits of information stored across the cosmos as Akashic readings, as he himself is both the software and the hardware, the subject and the object of the quantum universe. Source taken from Avatar Shastra, Chapter 3, Akashic Reading, page 90. We will now introduce a video on Retrieve Your Akashic Records by the Avatar himself, Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, on the morning of 29th March 2011, at Paddhati Ashram, Bengaluru, India.
Please understand, any action you do just based on the physical body will leave its wave and the archive in physical layer. All your physical actions get gathered and archived in the physical layer of the cosmos. Understand? Even a small act you do, like a simple eating, gets recorded in your file in the cosmic physical archives. Same way, any small thought crosses your mind, like, I think I should go and lie down and sleep. Even this simple thought gets recorded in your mental layer as a file and stored in the cosmic archives. Anything happened from the beginning in all 7 levels, in all beings, is available alive. Understand? 3000 years before, when you were in the pig body or buffalo body or elephant body or dinosaur body, what you thought on particular day and particular moment can be retrieved without any corruption or mismanagement or alteration. Whole thing is available. If the action which you did is performed from the first layer, it will be available in first layer file. If it is from second layer, it will be available from the second layer file. If it is from third layer of your body, it will be available from third layer of the file. But one important thing is, billions and billions of first layer files are available. Millions and millions of second layer files are available. But only thousands of third layer files are available, because people don't function from second layer and third layer. Understand? So when you go deeper and deeper and deeper, only few thousand or few hundred files are available from the 7th layer actions.
Each individual's DNA holds its personal Akashic records. Science says that the human species has evolved with a 2-stranded DNA, which is found in every cell, which determines the form as well as the potential diseases and skills we can have. Scientists are very clear that what we think is not our original blueprint, because we are able to study only one part of the DNA till now. The other unrevealed part, which scientists have not been able to study or logically understand its function, they have labeled as junk DNA or shadow DNA. Scientists are absolutely right when they say there are 2 parts in the DNA, and one part which they are able to study is responsible for the form and diseases. The other part is what is responsible for our spiritual gifts. I tell you, the other part is what carries all the siddhis and superhuman powers. I can say the part which is already discovered is junk DNA. The part which is not yet discovered, or maybe I can use the word yet to be realized, it is this part that contains information about who you really are on a level of spiritual beingness. It is that part to which I gave the name Jivatma, the individual consciousness, or individual self DNA. It is that part which carries our divine personality. By His Divine Holiness Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Setting up for Akashic reading of revealing all the great truth, what was revealed in the satsang. Camera with timestamp, Jnananjan, pencil and paper. Let us set up the camera. Download the timestamp app, click on the video, ensure the time is shown on the screen very vividly and clearly. Make sure the camera is facing you and in a wide angle. There is no background noise or paper or anything in the vicinity. Make sure that it's bright light and it's authentically recorded. Please take a few minutes to set up the Ashakti Avishkarana videos. Guidelines: turn on the video recording, apply the Jnana engine, bring your awareness to your third eye, offer the Guru Puja, scan and write the Akashic reading on birth, death, listening, as revealed in the satsang through the third eye, what appears on the Atma Murti in the golden letters. Verify the satsang, it matches exactly word by word, everything is matching exactly, then you manifested the power. If you only feel the Kundalini energy and got only some of it correct, you started manifesting the power of Akashic reading. Share it and celebrate it more and more to manifest more powers. Verify the video is authentically recorded from the beginning, from the Guru Puja to the end of verification, all the details to be recorded and shared with powerful cognition to your friends and family. Listen to others' experience of this manifestation of these powers for more entanglement.
Power manifestation instructions. Let's sit straight, the head, neck, and back in a straight line, so that beautifully the Kundalini energy raises to the Agnya where the manifestation happens. Usually, our awareness is on Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipuraha, where navel center, your below navel center. Here, bringing the awareness to your third eye and sitting straight will give us amazing possibility of power manifestation. Now let's understand few words that Bhagavan is repeatedly using. Shaktipada, oneness, be unclutched, initiation. So here first we will see in Bhagavan's words what is Shaktipada.
Let me give an introduction about what is Shaktipada process. Please understand. You would have seen or heard about how the chicken sits on the egg and hatches. Of course, in the modern countries, this does not happen. Machine sits on the egg and our egg sits on the machine. In those days, originally when hens and chicken were getting produced on the planet Earth, the hen used to sit on the chicken and hen used to sit on the egg and the chicken will come out of the egg. See, same way, Sadashiva, sitting means the ultimate cosmic energy sitting on the individual soul and making the individual soul into cosmic energy is Shaktipada. Hen sitting on the egg and making the chicken happen, same way. You may think, how come, what is going on here? That hen is only sitting just by the body heat of the hen, the egg is becoming chicken. Because no surgery is done and nothing goes inside. It's only sitting. Same way, it is just sitting. It's only the presence, the Shaktipada, makes the individual soul into cosmic soul.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained Shaktipada, how individual soul becomes cosmic soul. And let's listen to initiation.
See, let me explain the initiation. Initiation is the process beyond your intellectual understanding. The transmission of lamp happens. Now, you understood something intellectually. There is something which is not understood, which can't be transmitted through the words. That is transmitted. That's what we call initiation. Sometimes I tell people that unless you are initiated, the techniques do not create the result. The reason is you do not grasp completely whatever is expressed through words. Initiation is like you just transmits whatever need to be transmitted beyond logic and beyond words. People ask me, why to wear this bracelet or this mala and all those things. This all will remind you. Why bracelet in the hand? It will remind you, before eating, did you meditate? It's a constant reminders. Before eating, let you be reminded, did you do the meditation? That is why this bracelet. That is why this mala. That is why this external things. Sometimes these external things does a big job of reminding you constantly. That is why take the help of external things also, nothing wrong. People ask me, why we can just be spiritual without having external things? If you can, really you are welcome. But I don't think anybody who speaks in that way is successful. I've never seen people becoming successful avoiding the external things, just having internal things. And it is just nice way of escaping from yourself.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained initiation. Let's listen to be unclutched. What is to be unclutched?
The thoughts, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Because the gap between two thoughts is too small. The neutral space between the two thoughts is too small. You think all the thoughts are connected and it is in the shared form. It is not. By your very nature, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Between every thought, you experience a neutral space. When you change the gear, whether you go from neutral to 1 or 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 or 4 to whatever gears you may change, but every time you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to the next gear. Even if you want to go from 2 to 3, you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to 3. Same way, between every thought, you experience a neutral space. You experience a neutral space between every thought. Between every thought. That neutral space, that silence is what I call peace or bliss. The peace which exists, the bliss which exists already in you, between every thought, the gap of the thought, the gap between the thoughts, that neutral space is the peace, is the bliss. When you understand you are unconnected, independent, illogical, and unclutched, by your very nature, you will start experiencing the neutral space in you, neutral space which exists in you. You will start living from moment to moment in spontaneity. You need to understand one more thing. This technique of being unclutched, it does miracles in your being. In the body level, or in the mental level, or in the being level. In every level, when you understand the truth, by your very nature, you are unclutched. The tremendous quantum transformation. You take a quantum jump. The transformation happens in quantum, not step by step. Just one jump. You take a quantum jump and experience the truth awakening in you.
The oneness space is the most beautiful space that Bhagavan himself is explaining how we are ferocious. Beyond the tiredness and boredom, we can experience the space of oneness and be unclutched.
Oneness is not imagination. Oneness is not visualization. Oneness is not even just declaration. It is your existence. An idea which is you is oneness. The idea which has become part of your very space, which does not tire you or bore you by the passage of the time, is oneness. Mahadeva says in the Agama, Sadashiva beautifully explains in the Agama, Kala, Yama cannot tire you or bring boredom to you if something becomes your space. Devi achieved the blissful state and union with Mahadeva on Shivaratri day because our space became oneness. Anything which brings tiredness or boredom has not yet become your space. If living in this body brings you tiredness and boredom, you are not going to be living in this body forever. When that becomes too much, you are going to drop it and move ahead. If you want to be in oneness forever, it should become part of your space, means you should become ferocious with you and break this very tiredness and boredom. Only when you deal you with the ferociousness, you break the tiredness and boredom. With that ferociousness, you need to make oneness as your space. Anything stands as an imagination in the length level, visualization in the breadth level, declaration in the depth level. If you open your time with ferociousness, it just sinks into space level. With this ferociousness, the time layer in you opens, and the oneness from imagination to visualization to declaration, it becomes your space, the way of existence.
The most important, Bhagavan says, being unclutched, understanding the Shaktipada, the oneness space, and chanting the Mahavakya. The Mahavakya, the power of the Mahavakya, pushes you into the higher states of consciousness. Here Bhagavan himself explains how we can experience the Shaktipada, raised higher consciousness through Mahavakya.
It's one of the very important revelation by Sadashiva. All the electronic equipments work when the electrons are made to vibrate. That happens by the light. When the electricity is supplied, the light particle vibrates, the electronic equipment starts working. Just like that, the spiritual power and the umbilical cord connection, spiritual umbilical cord connection between you and me, it works with sound particle. For example, my integrity with the cosmos, Sadashiva, Mahasadashiva, it reverberates in certain level of frequency. When you are integrated to me, you also start reverberating in the same frequency. If your integrity goes down, that is when you start connecting with me only as a manager or this organization head or your Purvashram father, mother. Your connection with me goes down to the lower level if the integrity gets reduced. I was wondering, what is the way we can bring people to the higher integrity immediately and the feeling connection, so they start manifesting the powers, they start staying in the space of Sadashivatva. Sadashiva revealed a beautiful sound. I can tell you, this is like a password. At any point, if you are not able to bring yourself to oneness, you are a little shaken, disturbed, or for some reason, you are not able to bring yourself to oneness. This is like a password. You type, whether your mind feels connected or not, the energy will start flowing in you beyond the depth dimension. You see, all mind oscillation, restlessness, all mental idea based feeling connected or not feeling connected is only length, breadth, depth level, not in the space level. But this sound will straight infuse energy from the space level. Like for example, if the power goes off, automatically the generator will get switched on and the power supply will be going on. So end result will not be lost. Whether government power supply or the generator power supply, end result will not be stopped. So whenever you feel little that oneness is, you are not catching it, just feed this password. Immediately the oneness will open up and you will start manifesting the powers, energy, and the whole space will shift. It is directly from Sadashiva. It's a beautiful sound. I don't even want to say it's a mantra. It is not even a mantra because there is no meaning in it. You can't derive a meaning for it. It just flashed like a password for all the initiations I am giving. One single password for all the initiations I am giving. And the initiations I gave, I am giving, I will be giving. For all that. This is like one password. Don't even repeat like a mantra. Just feed like a password. And it will just open up. Your whole being will open up. Listen carefully. It starts with the vibration Om. Listen and then repeat. Om. Very deep. Om. Nithyananda. Nithyananda. Maha Sadashivoham.
So Bhagavan gave beautiful explanation of how you can be in Shaktipada. Visualize Paramashiva who has come down as Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam from Kailasha. Remembering Paramashiva in your third eye. Again and again, bringing your awareness to your third eye simply makes you manifest powers. Absolute unclutching. How Bhagavan said, the neutral zone, nothing ever touches the screen. Like same way, the movie does not touch the screen, whether it is happening in ferocious or any soft, beautiful, nothing touches the screen. Be unclutched like the screen. And to experience the state of Paramashiva, your inner space being completely unclutched. Complete completion to experience the space of Paramashiva. Inside us, the complete completion happens when we are in tune with Paramashiva. That everything is redundant and irrelevant. The essence of completion is irrelevant. Nothing matters in your life because everything is complete completion. Oneness with Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, in ferocious breaking the boredom and tiredness, just being in the space of oneness with Paramashiva to manifest the powers of Paramashiva. Tyaga as Paramashiva is your only strength, now declaring complete integrity with Bhagavan to experience the being of Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, chanting the Mahavakya raises your frequency and that is your only strength to manifest any reality. Being in this beautiful space of Paramashiva, you can experience such a beautiful space, state, powers, and becoming the being of Paramashiva, manifesting whatever you want. Now, you will be manifesting the powers, watching the oneness capsule, and chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. We'll be playing the Mahavakya and the oneness capsule for you to manifest powers. At end of the Mahavakya, you can start with the verification and sharing and causing. Thank you.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eye. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Verification process. Verify no video editing is done on the Shakti Avishkara video. No video is start or restarted or stopped during the process. All the video are having the timestamp, wide angle view, no clues or hints during manifestation, no Bluetooth or gadgets during manifestation. If you'd like to use Aushadha, Garbha, Mandala, please do so. Authentically write down the revelation of the birth, death, listening, etc. and match it exactly as the satsang is revealed. And if you get it matched exactly, wonderful. Do not tamper the data by watching the satsang before or details before the verification. Do it as authentically as possible so that more manifestation happens through you. Thank you for participating in the Akashic reading of Revelation of Great Truths.
Beautiful. We are at the end of the power manifestation, but most important part of the power manifestation. Here, we are going to share all that you have manifested with the social media groups. Here we have Sri Kailasha Kotyar Manifesting Power groups. Thousands of people are part of that. And you can share there and you can post your powerful cognition and the videos. The link is tinyurl.com/power manifestation. It is at the left corner of the page. You can click on it and you can post your beautiful experience in the power manifestation group. Why sharing and causing is very important part of power manifestation. Bhagavan beautifully explains that sharing is pulling us out of delusion and causing is liberating us. We are the ones who need to start experiencing the higher states of reality, how we need to exist. Beautifully, Bhagavan explains when you are sharing with others the ultimate, beautiful, multidimensional logic, your brain rewires into the higher space of consciousness, the Turyatita state. Again and again, when you experience even a little bit, you share with the world, your experience becomes reality. Same thing when you cause others to come and get initiated for higher reality, you are caused into the higher purpose, the ultimate reality. Bhagavan says extreme causing, extreme power manifestation is extreme causing. So beautifully he explains how our strength is declared on Paramashiva. The power manifestation happens exactly in tune to that. And sharing with the world, continuously reiterating ourselves the experience that we had from the powerful cognition and manifesting the space of Paramashiva, the state of Paramashiva, the beings of Paramashiva, we become Paramashiva. Go on sharing and causing, which is the most important part of how you have experienced your reality. When you go to a temple, we pray and we see that beautiful experience happen in us and then share with the world that how amazing the temple experience has manifested as your reality. Same way, when you manifest powers, when you share with the world, it becomes more and more the depth cognition of you, and you will be experiencing more powers. Even if you're manifested very small, it does not matter the quantity, Bhagavan says. The quality is important. If it is authentic, please go ahead and share with the world. Do not doubt, have self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred come and block anything. Experience the ultimate in deep seeking and gratitude. Bhagavan manifest in you with a deep prayer, that asking Bhagavan to make this reality as your existential reality. With that, let's end with the Purna Mantra, thanking Bhagavan for all these great experience. We have come to the end of the Power Manifestation course, and we end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamadashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhavate Sri Nithyananda Parameshwaram Padaka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you for participating in the Jnana Paddhati, Nithyananda Jnana Paddhati course. Please go ahead and select more power manifestation and every day experience the ultimate reality for yourself. Nithyananda.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham